Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are again, and I promise we're going to get a lot more done for a couple of reasons. One, I've installed a couple of mods. The first, remember I was telling you about some building ranges. Well, I installed the building ranges mod, so it's really cool. It shows you the range that we were talking about earlier. It's not always useful, and once you really know them, you kind of know them. But for a quick look, it's really helpful to be able to see the effective range on some buildings. Now, not all of them have that sort of that range mechanic. You can click on some other buildings, but the ones that it matters, like telescopes and things like that, it really does come in handy. And it's great for, YouTubing, because now I can actually show you what I mean when I'm talking about it. The second one we did that I installed was the speed mob, and this will give me the ability, instead of sitting here for 4 hours to try to get through some content, I can now get through it in half the time because I put the customizable speed mod. So you can watch, this is normal. This is the normal fast speed, the 3 arrows. But if I kick it up a notch, you can see these boys moving really quick. So the bad thing about the customizable speed mods is that they can break some of the physics. They can alter some of the physics effects in the ways that you wouldn't want. And as you can see, like people running out of breath or scalding or all these other sort of things, you don't have much of a time to actually get to it. So you need to be careful as well. So we'll go back for the majority of the time. We'll sit at the 2 stars, and still I'm really ready for them to core something out. Now, the meat and potatoes of this episode is we need to get some of this cleaned out. We're kind of blocked in by a lot of yuck, but there's still some of it that we can get through. Like all of this is still in our current biome. Most of this, I don't necessarily want to go into the chlorine yet. And then finally up into this rock so we can get into the space. So I'm going to set up a couple of nice build commands, and then we will see how that goes. I need to figure this out. I was expecting them to get rid of this water a little bit quicker, but we're only sitting on 4 dupes. So a lot of the chores, they don't have a lot of time to do a lot of the chores that we've asked them to. So with that, I will let them catch up some sort of things, and then we'll get to it. So one of the reasons why it's taken them so long to empty this is because they only have 1 bottle emptier, right? So once, for instance, in this case, Guar has the bottle, that means this bottle emptier is taken. Now, this entire time, this is not being queued up for another task. Not until this entire bottle gets emptied. Once it's emptied, well, then the task is queued, and somebody's going to come down there and get another bucket or bottle of water, and we're going to repeat the cycle. But they don't necessarily do it back to back. So we're going to add a couple of bottle emptiers just for the funsies. Make sure we rotate this boy around, and there we go. So now we should be able to deliver this at roughly the double the speed, right? We're going to copy the settings to make sure we don't get any polluted water or anything else in there. And now there's Jordan picking up a bottle, and somebody should be along to pick up another bottle here soon. Oh, looks like Jordan's going to take both. So now, even though this one is still being emptied, we already have another bottle en route. There we go, much quicker. Now that's just back to back, and this should be drained very shortly. While we're sitting, we got another dupe. Going to take a quick look, and nothing that's really knocking my socks off. We are really wanting a cook. Unfortunately, Otto's good at cooking, creativity, and digging. But yet, Otto has the negative trait of undigging. So they literally start with a -2 in excavation. This is not great. I was contemplating that because Otto does have 3 positive traits, which is kind of cool. But other than that, I think we're good on all these. So we'll just get the extra sandstone and move along. In the meantime, now, remember, the reason why we're trying to empty all this water is because it'll be easier for them to go back and forth without stepping through the water, having to shake their feet off, and all that sort of stuff. It will help. But we need to start getting other things cored, but in order to do that, we're only sitting on 4 dupes, so we really need to start expanding our stuff, so we will look to do that now as well, and I'll queue up a couple of builds to do that. Alright, here's a few to get us started. Just going to core out some more of this main base. There's one little slime pocket somewhere around here. We're going to take the chance because we want to get this all insulated. As you can see on this side of it, it's 50 degrees, 60 degrees, all because of this hot water coming off this cool steam vent. So we really want to make sure we're staying insulated because we don't want to stifle our crops. Before we were kind of keeping some of this au naturel. I'm not as concerned about it now because we have all this mealwood and a few bristle blossoms that'll be able to sustain us for a little bit while. We'll also go ahead and, since we're here, we might as well fill in some of this. What's going on here? We'll dig that up. We'll fill this in and get rid of all this, access to all this algae. Because once you know how much algae you have from sort of your starting biomes, you'll be able to sit and be able to tell, okay, this is how many cycles I have, or how long I'm going to be able to survive off of just algae alone. Don't want to block the potty. Need to unentune it. Unentomb. I'm assuming that's a word. So make sure we can still use the potty there. I'm also going to dig out and through here. Nothing too bad's over here from what I look at. This is still 30 degrees, but we'll go a little bit further. Because I'd like to be able to eventually set up some compost and stuff of that nature if we need some more room. We'll see how that goes. Looks like old Jordan Sparkman's got a new skill. I think we'll go right into super duper hard digging. We're going to be doing a little bit of coring out this episode. Make sure we're prepared it with at least one dupe. Oh, but look at that. Now you get the super duper hard digging hat. I wonder if there's a new hat for hazmat digging. Ooh. Looks like we're finally getting to the spot where we can actually mop up some of this, which means this will drain a little bit more, and we should be able to mop a lot of this up. For the meantime, we'll open these up, let the water drain a little easier. There's some oil sitting over there as well. And once all that's mopped up, it'll be much easier to get in and out through this area. So they won't be so slow going into it, and I'll feel a lot more comfortable sending somebody through the teleporter. As you can see, the dupes have made pretty good work of coring the rest of this out. Nothing really new. We're up to 30 tons of algae. That's pretty decent. Not too concerned about oxygen at the moment. Right now, our options are kind of limited because all we really have is the water. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, we could just stick to mealwoods and not have to worry about water crops, right? The problem is, as soon as you let this water into your base, it's going to superheat everything. And when you superheat everything, it makes it quite uncomfortable for your dupes. Yeah, not only does it make it uncomfortable for your dupes, but it also means the oxygen will be superheated. And just because you're not giving the water to the mealwood doesn't mean that heat won't come in terms of the ambient temperature. So we're going to be a little bit more careful there. So doing a little bit more research, looking at our food supplies, this is a stack of meal lice. As you can see, because it's unrefrigerated, we now get minus 9% of spoil. Or basically, you know, it's going to go off 9% per cycle. Because it's a sterile atmosphere, it's not changing by any. It's zero, right? So it's good that we have it in a sterile atmosphere, but it'd be even better if we could have it refrigerated. Now, lucky for us, we're still sitting pretty high on the hog as far as calories and everything going. I'm not too worried about it. We got plenty of muckroot. If you look up here, plenty of meal lice to make us last. Uh-oh, let's go double check. You're not suffocating. You just got to walk out. Come on, Guar. Get with it. Looks like we're able to mop the rest of this up. And we can actually remove the pitcher pump and our just-in-case tiles as well. And since everything's got a mop command, after it's finished being mopped, we'll also close these doors back, just to make sure none of this chlorine gets through. I shouldn't say making sure none of the chlorine gets through, because that's not a true statement. Some of it will eventually get through, but it's just a helpful measure. A little temporary measure. Looks like we're ready for some new dupes. Husbandry, athletics, science. Normally in this part of the game, I'd be, can't wait for, somebody with some husbandry and some ranching, but we're not using the animals this game, right? Not in that capacity. We're not going to eat them. We want to eat off of the plants. So we're going to kind of stick to that. And so we're not actually sweating for a rancher. What's funny about this dupe, though, old May, yeah, really, really wants to be a rancher. +3 husbandry, but doesn't like critters. Yep, there you go. We got another farmer rancher. This one's not bad, right? It does have another bottomless stomach, and I can't do with any more bottomless stomach. We've already got a couple of dupes with it. But the iron got the super duper hard digging, plus farming and ranching. That's pretty good. And then you got old Abe. You know, he likes to art, and we don't really need the art right now. He's also got a small bladder. Not a big deal, but we don't need that extra farmer yet. We will eventually, but we do need dupes, so we will keep an eye out. We'll take the dirt, keep our mealwood going for longer. I'm really starting to get a little nervous about this heat. It's already 75 degrees in this pool, and some of the surrounding tiles are at 50 and 60 degrees. So just in case, we're gonna insulate our farm here. We'll leave one tile open just to be able to get in and out, and the rest will insulate down. Since we're expanding out so much into the other parts of the base, so we're losing a lot of our oxygen down here. You can see this is only down to 1,200 grams. This is even a little lower, so I think we're going to go ahead and add another oxygen diffuser, and maybe even lower this one a little bit. So why don't we go ahead and copy this building here. Put it nice and tight down there. Yeah, this will be fine. I think we're going to turn this into some more permanent quarters. Oh, we need to close this back in. This will probably be a good meal hall. We're not quite at that point where we need to decide where... Oh, these are still on Enable Auto Bottle, so they keep going and going. We need to decide on a dupe count. Right now, we'll sit static at 16. Once we get there, we might go up all the way up to 24. We'll see. Hopefully, the printing pod will start giving us some better dupes. I mean, one can hope, right? For now, though, I think it's about time that we actually set up some good stuff here in the main base with bathrooms, a more permanent living solution. Give me a second while I take care of that. All right, here's the general plan. We're going to make some potties here, and the potties are going to go into the water sieve and the excess polluted water, because remember that this bathroom setup is a water-positive process. So you need somewhere to do with the extra polluted water. We're going to send it into a couple of thimble reeds, and then the clean water will come out and go straight back into the bathrooms. Now the only difficulty is finding the water to source it from. Why not just get our... start the water with some dirty water? I think we're going to source it from here. Give it a second while these guys finish it up, and we'll be right back. Alright, beautiful. Now what we're going to do is provide some power to this guy. Lucky for us, we have a power source right here. In fact, we'll go ahead and clean this up since we're here. Put some nice little tiles here. This will work. Ooh, looks like it's time for some new dupes. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. It's a whammy again. We do have a +9 strength tidier with Grease Monkey. Biohazard interior decorating. I'm not excited about the interior decorating. But compared to Lindsay and Gossman, I think we're actually going to welcome Bubbles to the crew. Maybe as a sort of all-around generalized dupe, and maybe eventually into a mechatronics engineer. So welcome to the crew, Bubbles. Making sure Bubbles has a place to eat and sleep. They do. We should be good. We do need to keep an eye on our mealwood, though, because right now we're only set for about 4 to 5 dupes, so we'll keep an eye on it. All right, we're all set up. We got our little pump over here. We've already got it wired for power. All we're going to do is add one more wire, and then we should be able to watch the magic happen if we did everything correctly. We'll see about that, right? Pumping. Into the sieve. Getting cleaned. Perfect. Now, I wish we had our Pliers mod. Unfortunately, it's not good with the new DLC yet. But once this is full, we can literally just stop the pump. And now we just need to cut the wire, and we should be good. In fact, it might even be quicker just to cut the the pipe, huh? All said and done, I should have just cut the wire. Completely forgot that the pipe was actually full of polluted water, so we had a little spill we had to clean up, no big deal. Now we need to reseal this up because right now we're letting that polluted oxygen really, or that polluted water off gas into our nice clean water, and this is in our mess hall. We don't want it. No, that's just not going to do. So we will, let's clean this up real quick. Step one, destroy everything, right? And I don't mind destroying any of it up here because we can just mop it up. And lucky for us, we have our nice little polluted water tank working just fine. Keeping that mopped. We'll get everything fixed up. And then we'll get it cleaned. All right, perfect. As you can see, bathrooms are working fine. Let's go ahead and make sure we set these just a direction right. So they only wash their hands when they're leaving. Working perfect. Now we just got to make sure that we source some of these beautiful thimble reeds, because as you can see, I don't think we have... Oh, we do actually have a few. I don't know. We must have gotten it from some of the biome. This will be perfect. Once the thimble reeds are planted, all that extra polluted water will head straight down here. As you can see, the water sieve has nothing to do with the extra polluted water because the clean water's backed out. So what we do, we put some thimble reeds in there, and, well, the thimble reeds will absorb the excess polluted water. As soon as somebody will deliver the thimble reeds. Anybody? Apparently it's not a high priority for anybody to do any delivering here. Ah, yeah, here comes Jordan. Now we can check it. Oh, mistake number one. Some of you may have already caught it. These are not hydroponic farm tiles, they're just standard farm tiles, so we need to get those replaced. Oops. And lo and behold, we don't even have the hydroponic farm tiles researched, so away we go to the research screen. Where are you? Oh, you're right there. We'll have that quick, fast, in a hurry. We're also going to do some housekeeping. We're going to kind of seal in the base a little bit, not too much. But since this is our temporary home away from home, we might as well make it decent. Not as concerned. We're going to leave a couple bristle blossoms around on the wild, but we're pretty set on our meal lice, so I think we're good to abandon it. So just a little housekeeping here and there. We're also going to make sure that we actually insulate these tiles. Ooh, old Jordan. You done got yourself stuck, have you? Let's go ahead and prioritize these real quick. Let's see, I think these two, will get them down there. That should work. There we go. Always need to make sure... Oh, nope, and now little J just ruined it. Hilarious. So let's go ahead and prioritize the construction of all of these tiles, because they're really trying desperately hard to get themselves trapped. We didn't make it quite in time. We need to make sure that mess gets picked up. Thanks, Jordan, for peeing on yourself. Oh, speaking of which, we get some skills gift bubbles. Let's go check those out. Oh, we got a few skills. All right, Bubbles is going to start off in... What are you going to do? What do you do, Bubbles? You're good at plumbing. That's all great. So maybe just a generalist? Tidying is good, but in carry is better. So maybe we'll do... Yeah, you'll just do... Just a generalist. There you go. But it does remind we need to make sure that we've set our skills, or rather our priorities. We're going to go into Improved Farming 2 to make old Guar even better at farming. Jordan Sparkman. Oh, where are you, Jordan? Oh, you're going to get hazmat digging. I don't really need you doing hazmat digging yet, especially considering you're negative right now on the... Because you got stuck, you're actually sitting negative on the morale front. And then little J. How you doing, little J? Let's go ahead and throw little J into Atomic Research. I know we're going there eventually. Oh, Atomic Research has a new hat. And we'll wait till Jordan gets caught up before we stress her out. Hopefully we get all this picked up. Oh, we got another new dupe. Cuisine, Science, and Excavation with a green thumb. And you don't care about art. I'd rather you started with a higher cooking sense, but I don't think Travaldo is all that bad. Your negative is just unpracticed artist. You got a green thumb, so you could do a little bit of farming here and there. Let's do it. Let's welcome Travaldo. Which now that emphasizes us getting our grilling station up. So let me look up some more stuff. This is not our permanent water tank here. We just have to figure out what our water source is going to be and then plan where our water tank is going to be around it. Until then, we're kind of In the meantime, though, we do have our hydroponic farms ready. We can get those built and those thimble reeds in it. Probably just in time, because as you can see, the plumbing is backing up a little bit. Ah, look at this. And now the excess polluted water goes right down to our thimble reeds pretty soon. This will provide us some nice suits and eventually some insulation. You know, we'll have to have a much larger thimble reed for that, but a much larger thimble reed farm. Ooh, ambient radiation. Hello. Less than I guess it's saying it needs less than 460 rads per cycle, which it is meeting that requirement. So that is good. With all this, I think we can go ahead and just remove all of these. We don't want them using these sinks and these potty. There's waste of resources. Everything's closed system here. Here, you gotta scoop up polluted water and polluted dirt. We could still use this because there's a bunch of junk in here, right? So what can we do with this? Maybe make a nice little compost station or something. I don't know. Not really sure about it. Until then, let's just not let anybody in. Yeah, that'll work. They won't have anything to do with the excess stuff, but not sure what we want to do with this yet, so we'll just let this continuously off gas, but there's just entirely too many germs to let it go off on its own. I originally had our cot sitting up over there, but then I realized this would be a perfect little area. It's close to the power, it's close to the mess hall for us to actually have, you know, our cooking station. So we're going to transfer some of these over. And get rid of all this mess. Let's go ahead and wake... Who's that? Is that Bert? We're going to wake Bert up. Wake up, buddy. You're moving. Beautiful. Alright, that looks a little bit better for now. And now we can put our grill down, finally. Put a nice little electric grill here. Now, we're not going to do our normal setup, quite frankly, because we're not sure what our permanent solution is going to be yet. As far as food storage. So I think right now, the best bet is probably going to be refrigerators. Said no one ever. How much power do these guys take? 120 watts. That's actually not too bad. That's not actually too bad. So yeah, we'll stick some refrigerators over here. In fact, might as well do one right there. I think one will be good. Storage capacity, 100K? Fine. Alright. Now, what do we want to store in here? Well, we want to store all the good foods. And then we'll set up what people can eat after we get to cooking. Alright, now we need somebody with the cooking skill. And old Travaldo is going to be it. Thank you for donning the cooking hat, buddy. Beautiful. Cooking hat. Now, we want everybody to eat some pickled meal forever. That's pretty much... What about gristleberries? And some gristleberries. That'll work. So the only things we want... I guess we're going to put everything in here anyways, right? Because we want it to hold things. But we do need to make sure that they're not eating any of it. So we don't want them to eat meal lice. They can eat muck fruit. They can eat nutritional bars. We don't want them to eat meat. Spindlies, bristleberries, mushrooms, grub fruit, and it goes on and on and on. I think that's all they have access to right now, so that will work. While we're at it, let's take a look at the priorities. We haven't done this in a while. Travaldo, dude, you're cooking all day, every day. That's what you do. That's what you're going to love doing. While you're doing that, why don't you also take care of the algae dispenser? What are the algae dispenser called? Oxygen diffusers. That also works. Oh, Bubbles, why don't you keep the machines running? And you can also love to do some tidying. think that works. Let's double priority Jordan for her building and digging. Everything else, we don't want Travaldo to do any big building or digging. So you are cut off. Where's our researcher? Little J, yeah, you are not doing any building or digging either. Nobody's doing any ranching, so nobody cares about that there. Oh, on farming. Yeah, let's keep, let's keep everybody not allowed to do the farming other than Guar. That's all Guar. Alright, looks good. I think. Bubbles, yeah, you should obviously prioritize supplying and storing too. You're just better at it, Bubbles. Alright, that should work for now. Hopefully we didn't mess anything up, but we will see. I would like to get the light bulb over this, and you need the weight plate to, you know, so whenever somebody's sitting there cooking, they can literally just work under the light, which makes them work a little bit faster. You know what we also haven't done? Everybody's on the same schedule, all these extra dupes. So let's take Travaldo and put him down on shift 1. Let's take Bubbles, put you down on shift 2. And Little J, you're still sitting at the default because we don't have anything to do with people who like the daylight. Alright. Why aren't we cooking yet? You can cook some pickled meal. Do you have any meal lice? Is that the reason? You do have some meal lice. And let's also just destroy those. Soon, we're going to be making a carbon sink. We'll put our old carbon skimmer to action. Yes. Cook, Travaldo, cook! Now, I'm looking forward to see how often the meal lice... Well, it's going to be a little off, too, because pickled meal naturally has a very long sustainment time. Unrefrigerated, it goes off -2 per cycle. In a normal atmosphere, it goes off 0.9 per cycle. Oh, into the refrigerator it went. Alright, refrigerated, it only goes off 0.6 per cycle. With the normal atmosphere, it's 0.9. So that's overall 2% per cycle. That's not too bad. So every pickled meal will last for 50 cycles. And it should be eaten by then anyways. Oh, new dupes. Joya Seed, Rust, Nails, decent at machinery and building. You don't care about killing folks. That's not too bad. And then we got a supply rancher. We're sitting at 6 dupes. Why don't we add number 7? I mean, that's not bad for a future mechatronics engineer. Yeah, we'll take it. Welcome, Nails. All right, now we need to make sure that we have enough muckroot, though, because this is not enough to support. So let's throw down some more of this. Need some more food here. So can you get out through there? I do not know. Is this still good? Yeah, this is still good, too. We'll also throw down some more meal lice there. How are we doing on dirt? 85 tons. That is wonderful. And all that meal root is sorted. All right, so now we have our cooking. How are we doing over here? Do we need a second refrigerator just in case? Let's do that. In fact, we probably need to check on that power consumption, because I can imagine Bert's going to be running for quite a long time. Of course, the water sieve doesn't go off very often, so basically, whenever we're doing research, but then those refrigerators are pretty constant. That's a constant draw, but you can still, we're still far under the 1,000 watt. Our potential load is only 860, and that's if everything was running all out. All right, so we got bathrooms sorted. We got some nice cots. So we got some cooking. We got the mess hall. This is all good for now. Yeah, I think. I know I said we were going to get a lot more done. We did get a lot of boring out over here. In fact, probably need to. I think this is the right level, right? Probably need to continue this on while everybody's just sitting there doing nothing. Yeah. Still got another one over there. And yeah, I think this will be good for now. I will continue to bore this out as we say our goodbyes during this episode. And I hope you had fun. I'll talk to you soon.